I think it's done good with the treatment and the work that we've gotten in. I mean, obviously it's a short amount of time, but I thought we had a good day yesterday, and we had good work after the game as well.
Obviously, it's a shorter week than normal. Is it your intention to try and push the play on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to. That's the reason you play this game is to push the play. So I'll get to work at practice and try to push it to see where I can get to. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to put our team in a bad position. So if I feel like I can play and go out there and win a football game, I'll play. And if I don't feel like that's the best case scenario, I'll let guys like Carson play. I mean, he's a guy that's winning this league as well. So it's just about pushing it this week, seeing where I'm at, and making the best decision then.
And I think you're pretty confident you can be honest with yourself about that range. Like, you won't make yourself more vulnerable, that you can do the things you need to do. I mean, is that something that will come to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we put ourselves in good position to where I guess I wouldn't say it was dire that I play. I mean, it's something where it's not like in the AFC Championship game where we're playing to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, we have a little bit of room to kind of spare, but at the end of the day, we're trying to win. We're trying to win the football game, and I'm a competitor. I want to go out there and play. So I'll push myself to get to the best place possible over these next few days, and we'll be able to make a decision then.
How does it feel compared to the Jacksonville injury? Similar?
Jacksonville was worse. I would say. I mean, that one was pretty significant. I mean, this one didn't feel good by any means. But the Jacksonville one, just the way I got caught, I didn't really get this last one. I kind of got my feet out at the very end, whereas that Jacksonville one I didn't really get to. Obviously, it's responded better, quicker. I think that'd be the best thing to say. But I want to be in a better spot than I was in that next game, going up against the Bengals. So I'll try to see if I can get there.
When you're evaluating your own body, what types of things do you need to feel to say to yourself, okay, I'm good to go for what would be Saturday?
Yeah, I want to be able to move. I want to be able to get out of the way. I mean, this is a good pass rush, a good defense. They fly around. You don't want to go out there and put yourself in harm's way. I mean, obviously it's football. You're going to take hits, but you want to be able to protect yourself. That'll be where I'm at, and I don't want to limit the game plan. I think that's another thing for me is I want to be able to still be able to move around the pockets, so we're not just sitting in one spot the whole entire game and letting their D-line really get after it. So it's about me finding that balance and seeing where I'm at. And like I said, I won't know until kind of close to the end of this week.
Do you expect to go into Friday and even Saturday morning before deciding? Will it be that kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, we'll push through it. I mean, Coach Reed kind of gave me that confidence to go out there and just push it and see where I'm at. Carson will be ready to go as well. I mean, he prepares as good as anyone I've ever been around, and his guys played a lot of games. So Coach will do a great job as far as practicing and stuff like that, getting both of us ready to go. And but my hope is that I am able to go out there and play. But like I said, we'll make the best decision for that at the end of the week.
Patrick, does the fact that there's the Pittsburgh game just a few days after this next one, does that enter in your thinking at all about how to approach this stretch here?
Not necessarily. I mean, if I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. I don't think that game after is going to really affect it, because if I'm not ready to go, then I'll have to wait and try to make it back for that one as well. So regardless of when we play that next game, I mean, these are important games, and we're trying to win to get that bye and to get to that second round of playoffs. And so we play 3 great football teams coming up, and I want to be as healthy as I can be and ready to play.
What have you seen from Carson that gives you the confidence you seem to have in him?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him. I've seen him practice every single day. I mean, even from training camp. I mean, just seeing him practice, it's you realize that he was going to win the MVP one year, and why? Because the talent that he has, and he gets after it every single day, and gives our defense great looks because he's throwing great footballs. And so he's a very talented player that works extremely hard, and he'll be ready if his number's called.
When you did have that playoff injury against the Jaguars, I assume that when you play on it the next week, it's preventing it from fully healing. The fact that the playoffs are only 3 weeks away, I mean, is there a primary objective to be healthy for the postseason?
I mean, yeah, in a sense, yeah. But I mean, just like the playoffs being 3 weeks away, and I mean, you go out there and win 2 games, you're going to have a long break more than likely with that Week 18 game. I mean, even if you're waiting to play that game, you're going to have another extended amount of time. So just as important as it is to get healthy, it is to get the number 1 seed. And so if you can get through these games and win these games against 2 great opponents, it will give you some momentum going into the playoffs, and hopefully give you a little bit of a break there at the end.
Patrick, you talked about missing some shots. I know you took a lot of it. There were some next-gen stats saying this was the most aggressive you've been this year. What did you think about where it was and why you did or didn't connect on some of them?
Yeah, no, I mean, we took some shots during the game. I mean, I think the one that I really want to get back is the one where I threw to J-Watt early. Just I think I was a little bit of a force, and if I get that shallow crosser to Xavier, he might score. I mean, that's how talented he is with the football. And so you want to be aggressive and take those shots downfield, but you want to be able to hit those. And then when they're not there, go get to the guys underneath and let those guys make things happen with the football. I mean, you saw Xavier on the throw I had to him down the sideline where he caught it. I mean, it was a run, technically, I guess. But he caught it and went down the sideline. But he's talented enough to score on throws like that.
Last couple will go Levo and then Nate. Go ahead. What did you see from Hollywood in the day of practice? How close is he for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, he looked great. I think Coach spoke on it a little bit. It's not like he hurt his leg, so he got out there and he was rolling around. I think more than anything, it's him getting back in football shape. I mean, it's just different than training and stuff like that, and then him being able to feel confident enough to go out there and take hits and stuff like that, which he's been clear to do. So it's about him getting more and more reps. You don't want to overdo it, but you want to let him go out there when he's ready, and hopefully that's sooner rather than later.
Nate?
Andy gave us a preview, Patrick, but from your vantage point, specifically what all took place yesterday? Because you had the benefit of obviously having a noon game and traveling earlier on Sunday. Just what went into everything you did yesterday to even give you a chance to practice today?
Yeah, I think, well, first we did a little bit when we got back. I mean, just you get back a little bit earlier with the noon game and kind of got ourselves ready even on the plane. And then when we got back, and then yesterday I was just here like pretty much all day. So when you want to get out there and play and give yourself the best chance, you got to spend the time here. And luckily I have a great wife who'll take care of the kids while I'm up in the building for 12 hours or whatever it is.
Was it similar to what you went through back in January of 2023?
Yeah, I mean, you do similar stuff. I mean, every injury is a little bit different, so we worked on different stuff like that. But you start off with just kind of getting the treatment and getting it feeling good, and then you go out there and push it a little bit and try to get that movement going as well. And so you don't want it to get too stiff or anything like that. And I feel like it responded really well today. And we'll push it a little bit on the practice field and the rest of the day, and then see how it responds tomorrow and kind of go from there.
Last one, Byron.
What can you do on the plane? What happened there?
I wasn't doing high knees or anything like that. No, we did some movement stuff and some icing, some stem and stuff like that, but we kept it moving. We don't want it to just sit there and get too stiff.
Hey, Chiefs fan. So, you probably heard the news about Patrick Mahomes dealing with that ankle injury. I know, not exactly what you wanted to hear with such a crucial game coming up, right? But leave it to Mahomes to keep things light, even in a situation like this. During an interview earlier this week, Mahomes shared how he's working hard to get back on the field for the game against the Houston Texans. But here's the thing, he couldn't resist throwing a little shade at Russell Wilson. Remember when Wilson did those high knees in the aisle of a plane to recover from his hamstring injury? Mahomes joked that his recovery plan doesn't involve anything that dramatic. He said, "I wasn't doing high knees or anything like that," chuckling. "We did some movement stuff, some icing. We didn't want it to just sit there and get to stiff." Classic Mahomes, right? Balancing focus and humor like only he can. Let me ask you this, do you think Mahomes' laid-back yet determined approach makes him even more relatable as a player? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a conversation about why we love this guy so much. Oh, and speaking of Russell Wilson's high knees, how about a quick poll? Would you ever do something that extra to recover from an injury? Yes or no? Vote below. Now, with Mahomes cracking jokes while staying laser-focused on his recovery, it's clear his mindset is on point. But what exactly is he doing to prepare for the Texans? Let's break that down next. Alright, let's dive deeper into how Mahomes is gearing up for the Texans. He might be joking about skipping high knees on a plane, but don't let that fool you. This guy is all business when it comes to getting back on the field. During the same interview, Mahomes shared a bit about his recovery process. He's focused on movement drills, icing, and anything else to keep his ankle from stiffening up. It's not flashy, but it's exactly what the Chiefs need from their QB right now. His goal, be ready to lead the team without risking long-term damage. Now, here's where you come in. If you were in Mahomes' shoes, or, should I say, his cleats, would you push to play this weekend, or would you take it slow and heal fully? Let me know in the comments. Maybe we can help him make his decision. Okay, maybe not, but it's fun to think about. Better for him to sit this one out. And as we're talking about Mahomes' mindset, it's worth noting how different his approach is compared to some other QBs in the league. That brings us to one of the most unique recovery stories out there, Russell Wilson's famous in-flight workout. Let's look at how that stacks up to Mahomes' more grounded style. Okay, Chiefs Kingdom, let's take a little detour for a moment, because this story is just too wild to skip. You remember Russell Wilson, right? Back in 2022, while recovering from a hamstring injury, he made headlines for doing, well, a lot. Picture this, a long flight to London, his teammates catching some much-needed rest, and Wilson. He's in the aisle of the plane, doing high knees, stretching, and working out for 4 hours straight. He even bragged about it later, saying he only slept for 1 hour because the rest of the flight was all about rehab and watching game film. Now, don't get me wrong, dedication is key, but that level of commitment had everyone, including Mahomes, raising an eyebrow. And honestly, who could blame him? Instead of imitating that, Mahomes is keeping it practical. He's focused on efficiency and letting his ankle heal in a way that's smart and sustainable. So here's a fun question for you. Would you want to be Wilson's teammate on that flight, or would you just pretend to be asleep the whole time? Be honest, drop your answer in the comments. And speaking of teammates, let's talk about how Mahomes shows love to his squad in ways that go beyond the field. His leadership doesn't stop with game plans or touchdowns. It extends into the locker room, especially during the holidays. Let's check out what he's been up to this Christmas. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about something that shows just how much Patrick Mahomes values his teammates: his epic Christmas gifts to the offensive line. If you thought Santa was generous, wait until you hear what QB1 pulled off this year. Every player on the O-line received a custom Chiefs Red Yeti cooler packed with high-end goodies. We're talking Lucchese leather cowboy boots, Oakley sunglasses, a WHOOP band, Adidas gear, and even a Normatec Elite leg compression system. Oh, and to top it all off, each cooler came with a Rolex watch. Yeah, a Rolex. It's not the first time Mahomes has gone all out for his teammates. Last year, he gifted them custom golf carts. The year before, custom golf bags loaded with clubs. Clearly, Mahomes understands the importance of keeping his O-line happy. After all, these guys protect him on the field. It's only fair they get the VIP treatment off it. Now, let me ask you, if you could pick one of those gifts for yourself, which would it be? The boots, the watch, the cooler full of swag? Let me know in the comments. And hey, while you're at it, how do you think this kind of gesture impacts the locker room culture? These gifts show more than just generosity. They highlight Mahomes' leadership and his ability to bring the team together. And with the big game against the Texans looming, that kind of unity could be the X factor. Speaking of the game, let's wrap this up by looking ahead to what's next. Now, let's bring it all back to the big question on everyone's mind. Will Mahomes be ready to take the field against the Houston Texans? Here's the deal. Mahomes himself said, "If I feel like I can play and go out there and win a football game, I'll play. If I don't feel like that's the best case scenario, I'll let guys like Carson Wentz play." It's a classic Mahomes response, putting the team first while still pushing himself to be ready. But let's be real, if there's even a slight chance for Mahomes to play, you know he's going to give it his all to suit up. And with his track record of battling through injuries, it's hard not to feel optimistic. That said, we also need to trust the Chiefs' medical team to make the right call. What do you think? Should Mahomes play this weekend, or should the team rest him and rely on the backup QB? Cast your vote in the comments, and let's see where Chiefs Kingdom stands on this one. Regardless of who starts, the team will need to rally together to secure the win. And with Mahomes leading by example on and off the field, it's clear the Chiefs are in good hands, no matter what. Thanks for sticking around, Chiefs fan. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Oh, and don't forget to drop your predictions for Sunday's game in the comments. We can't wait to see what you think.